This lesson and the next one are not vital to using Unibase. However, if you are deciding on keyboard usage for your site, these two lessons give you a background for understanding keyboard mapping. The information is also useful for choosing field types when designing screens. Data entry, the preparation of data so a computer can use it, has been around for a long time. The method for preparing this data has always involved a keyboard. First, with the key punch machines such as the IBM 029 or the Decision Data 8010. Second, with proprietary key-to-disk hardware and software such as the Tartan system, the Nixdorf system, or the CADE system. And third, with open systems installed on a variety of platforms such as Unibase by DMAC. The key punch machines, which punched holes into 80-character cards, had been around so long that some of the earlier key-to-disk systems used keyboards with a similar layout. Just as typists got used to the QWERTY keyboard, data entry operators got used to having numeric keys embedded in the Alpha keyboard. DMAC calls the embedded numeric keyboard a legacy, and mimics this legacy as far as possible on a PC keyboard. But the relentless passage of time means there are newer data entry operators who cut their teeth on a PC keyboard and wouldn't know what to do with an embedded numeric keyboard. DMAC lets either type of keyer choose the entry keyboard he's most comfortable with, even if they work for the same data entry shop. Let's see how the keyboard type affects the keys used for entry. We'll start standard job QA test and name the file with the digit 1. Before we look at the record layout, let's see how we can tell what keyboard we're using and how to switch between them. On the top right of the screen is an item labeled KBD. That stands for keyboard. If it is TYP, as we see now, the character keys are defined as they are shown on the PC keyboard. That means if you're going to key alpha, you use the alpha keys. If you're going to key numeric, you have the choice of the top row of numeric keys or the numeric keypad on the right-hand side. To change to the embedded numeric keyboard, hold down the Shift key and press Function key 4. This key combination is labeled NIX on the key tops and shows up as NIX on the KBD item. This keyboard means you have a choice of using the alpha keys U, I, O through M, comma, period to key numeric digits. There's even a third type of keyboard. If you hold down the Shift key and press Function key 5, you get a CADE keyboard. This is similar to the embedded numeric keyboard for the alpha and numeric characters. However, the data entry functions are mapped to some of the punctuation keys on the keyboard instead of to the function keys. This layout matches the keyboard that came with the CADE system, a fairly popular proprietary system 20 years ago. An operator can get about a 5% speed improvement with this layout over the NIX keyboard because the function keys are closer and there is less hand motion to reach them. Just as the NIX keyboard gives about a 10% speed improvement over the typewriter keyboard because the operator doesn't have to move his hands to get to the numeric keypad. To get back to the typewriter or PC keyboard, hold the Shift key and press Function key 3. You can see these different layouts if you call up the keyboard display by pressing the combination Shift F2. Only certain keys are operable in this display, and they're given at the top of the screen. In an earlier lesson, we used the dupe key, Function key 6, to display the right-hand side of the keyboard and to get back again. We exited this display by pressing Help, then Release. But for now, look in the upper left-hand corner. The designated group matches the codes for KBD in the top line of the data entry screen. So this is the mapping for the typewriter keyboard, which we're using in all our lessons. If we press the release key, we get a different keyboard. This is the mapping for the NIX keyboard. See how the numbers are mapped to some of the letter keys. 1 is mapped to the U key, 2 is mapped to the I key, 3 is mapped to the O key, and so on. If we press release again, we get the mapping for the CAD keyboard. It says CAD in the upper right hand corner. You can see the same embedded numerics as on the NIX keyboard. And you can also see the location of some of the function keys. These are close to the original CAD keyboard. Notice that for this layout and the NIX layout, the PC key for colon and semicolon is mapped to the field release key. This is easier to reach and is less tiring than using the field release key mapped to the enter key. If you're extra curious about the other abbreviations on this display, you can get more information by pressing the information key. You use the information key when you are displaying help for the Unibase menus. You hold the Shift key and press Function key 1. And sure enough, you get a lot more information than you ever wanted. Most of it is self-explanatory. You get an action description and a name for the action. The keystroke macro is the abbreviation used in the keyboard display for the action. Use tells where the particular action is used. D and I mean the action is used in data entry and image entry. R means the action is performed in record format generation. E means the action is done in Easy Edit, the Unibase editor. And M means the action is performed in the Unibase menus. To exit, of course, you press Help. To reiterate, this key is labeled HU on your keytops and on the keyboard display. That's supposed to stand for User Help, but I guess the programmer thought, might look like he didn't know what the key was. There is a lot of information in this lesson. That's to show that Unibase can come close to matching a keyboard that is comfortable for your keyers. Trying to learn about all the keyboards is confusing. Realize that there are differences. Pick the one you're most comfortable with and most likely to use, and learn how to use it. In the next lesson, we'll see what these different keyboards mean to an entry operator.